anything can be traumatic to someone depending on how they react to it, that specific individual's unique reaction.
Yes. And how they
Something that I,
experience it.
yes, something that I always tell people when I do trauma debriefing, for example, right in the beginning, I feel it's important for people to understand that we have different views on an event or an incident. One person might think it's a horrible thing that happened, and another person might think nothing of it because it's an everyday occurrence in their lives. So there's a view or an opinion on things that differ between people, but there are also other factors. For example, if you didn't have a good night's rest and you're tired, if you hadn't eaten recently and your blood sugar is low, or if
Mm.
you're ill, a bit under the weather, you have a fever or whatever, or if you recently had an argument with somebody and you're still upset about that, all those things are factors that are going to influence how you react to something that
Mm.
happens in your immediate environment. So if you're very tired and your blood sugar is low and somebody yells at you, you're going to react differently to it than when you're well rested, you've just eaten, so your blood sugar is stable and you're not upset about anything. So there are ordinary things in our lifestyle that affect how we react, added on to, the aspects of what is actually happening to us. So that's
Absolutely.
something that I feel is very important for people to understand.
100% agreed. And I think to bring in the approach that I take is that's why I enjoy working from the salutogenic or holistic perspective,
Mm,
because we use tools such as the wellness wheel that
mm,
looks at all of these aspects, like your
mhm.
physical health, your even your financial or your
Yes.
occupational health, because
Mm,
at work there could be something going on,
mm,
and then that also blends, and that could be two traumatic experiences or distressing experiences that are not even related to one another, but it almost stacks in layers, because a lot of
yes.
people that have been traumatized before, it's almost like other events stack on top of that.
Mm,
And
mm,
like you said, 100% nutrition, hydration, sleep, all those things, 100% are questions that I ask my clients
mm,
as well, where I say, how has your sleep been lately? Have you noticed changes also in the sleep? Because
mm,
sometimes there will be dreams or there will be disturbances in the sleep when they're trying to do this healing work with trauma. And the journey is not linear, it's very much up and down,
yes.
right? It flux. So, like,
Mm,
rightly so, I completely agree. If you have a day where you're under the weather or vulnerable physically,
mm,
like we
mm,
said, trauma lives in the body, absolutely. It will make it so much harder to do that work. And then sometimes people will tell me, no, I feel I'm going backwards
mm,
in my healing journey. Then I'll be, but why are you saying to me you're going backwards? Because that's not necessarily what I'm observing. Then they'll tell me this, and this. Well, I'm like, you've just had surgery, or you've just gotten over a divorce, or gotten over
mm,
an event or something happened to someone else, or there's grief or whatever else.
mm,
And you have to look at it in context, where
yeah.
a lot of the times trauma survivors compare their lived experience with someone who did not suffer that trauma and
Mm,
expect themselves to be further along than
mm,
than where they are now. And then I'm like, well, for somebody who experienced X, Y, Z, and the other, hasn't eaten, didn't drink enough water, didn't get time to drink enough water, and perhaps have almost like a comorbidity, such as maybe anxiety, depression, or something
yes.
else, for you, with all that stuff holistically, taking that small step is a major
Mm,
accomplishment. Taking that
mm,
little step, even
yes.
getting out of bed and brushing your hair, can be a
Mm,
huge accomplishment for somebody on a healing journey. But we
mhm,
should not compare ourselves to other people, because, once again, subjective experiences, we all experience life differently. We all heal our trauma and whatever else we're dealing with much more different than another person would, depending on all these
mm,
aspects.
mm.